Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day 3 of E3 2012. We're here live on the GameSpot stage, and I'm your host, Chris Waters. Again, today we've got a full slate of awesome games from the show floor today. Don't think just because it's Day 3 we've run out of awesome stuff to show you, because we haven't. And so we're starting off the day with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Sitting next to me here is Omar from Superbot. Omar, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're really excited to see the game in action. We got a great look at it during the press conference. How's the reception for the game been so far?
It's been really great. You know, E3, the most hands that have ever been on the game have been in the last 3 days, and we're just really excited to have finally people playing it.
So you got a lot of people playing it over at the booth?
Oh yeah, tons of people. There's been a line every day, all day long. We're trying to get people through as fast as we can, because we really just want people to play it. I know people have been really excited about it. We showed it in April a couple of months ago, but it's been a long time since then, and finally just really excited to have people able to get their hands on those controllers and check it out.
And we've got 4 of those people with their hands on it right now, and they're in the middle of a match at what appears to be Kratos' home stage.
Yeah, that's right. So this level is called Hades. It is a God of War inspired level. It's actually, all of our levels have this aspect to it. It's a mashup of 2 universes. It's actually Hades from God of War, but also Patapon.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit non-God of War stuff going on in the background.
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely. The Patapon army are sort of invading Hades, and you'll see some interplay between Hades the character and the Patapon characters, and also Patapon and the players who are playing on the level.
Now, of course, Hades, a memorable boss from God of War 3. Are players going to be able to like rip a chunk of flesh out of Hades and bludgeon their enemies with it?
No, none of that. But Hades does occasionally interact with the play space, and the players do have to pay attention to that.
Okay, so who do we have on screen? They're moving pretty quickly. Just lay them out for for the viewers.
So we've got Big Daddy, who we announced at the show. Also Nathan Drake, Colonel Raddick from Killzone, Parappa the Rapper, and oh yeah, I think that I also mentioned Big Daddy from BioShock.
Yeah. And now we just had a fever. That's like an environmental hazard coming into play.
Yeah, that's right.
Patapon folks.
The levels interact at various stages with the players, and that was an example of that there.
All right, Omar. Now, while we're in the middle of this first fight, we got to get the big question out of the way. How do you feel about the phrase Super Smash Brothers?
I can't blame people for using it. I totally understand where the comparisons come
there's
from.
A connection.
Yeah, absolutely. We're fans of the brawler genre and fighting games at large, and we understand that we're taking some of the best things that have come before us and also adding something new to it. Our core gameplay mechanic in the Super System we feel is pretty original and offers something new, to sort of the great tradition of brawlers and fighting games at large.
Sure. And folks, if you're seeing a video game that's in a familiar genre, welcome to video games.
Yeah, exactly. Show me the original game at E3 this year that borrows no elements from no game that has come before it.
Exactly. So let's get into that. The systems that you guys have here in place, the AP meter, the supers, and stuff like that. Break that down for folks so they can really get a good idea of what that core mechanic is like.
Sure. So as players fight, this is a little bit non-traditional. They're not depleting health from their opponents. They're actually building energy towards their super meter and their super attacks. So normal attacks don't do damage in the traditional sense. They build meter. And this meter is used to power each character's super attacks.
So you're gaining something from punching Kratos in the face, not taking something away from him.
Exactly. So it's most advantageous. It's a heavily offensive game. So the more you fight, the more of this energy that you collect, and this energy goes towards the super attacks. And the super attacks are how you kill your opponents and how you score points.
All right. And so but the super attacks sort of have multiple stages, right? There's kind of a risk-reward element at play.
Right. So there are actually 3 different supers per character. So you have level 1 supers. We refer to them as level 1, level 2, level 3.
Sure. And that's for you folks watching, that's the bar at the bottom, like that you see filling up. Nate Drake just hit level 1.
That's exactly right. So Drake is currently sitting on a level 1 super, has a little bit of energy towards a level 2. Parappa has a level 1, but Big Daddy and Sly Cooper don't have a super
behind.
yet.
Come on, Big Daddy.
A little bit, yeah. And so you can either choose to use that energy on a lower level super, a level 1 super, and those attacks aren't as powerful, but they're cheaper, they're faster to get to.
Will you be able to knock someone out with a level 1 super?
Knock someone out?
Sorry, just get a...
Score a kill?
Yeah, score a kill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All supers are kill, and they're the only ways to kill.
Okay.
And then progressively, as you go up, level 2 supers are more powerful than level 1 supers. Level 3 supers are the most powerful of all. Takes a long time to get to. You have to work throughout the course of a round to maybe get to a level 3 super, but they're very powerful.
And it looks like Big Daddy has rallied back and has got a level 2.
Yeah.
Ready to go and working on that 3. So we'll have to keep an eye out for when someone unleashes a super, because that's what folks want to get a look at.
Yeah, different characters have different strategies depending on how comfortable they feel with their supers. Depending on what stage they're playing on, they may feel it's more advantageous to go for one super over another. But it definitely looks like here Big Daddy is going for his level 3 super. It's pretty spectacular.
Now, of course, Big Daddy and Nathan Drake revealed at the show today, and we're live right now, folks. So if you want to ask some questions about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, send them to us in an email from the GameSpot chat, ask them in the Twitch chat, or send them to us over Twitter to hashtag GameSpotE3. On Twitch, Ericsong UK wants to know about third-party characters that you guys are going to see in the game. Obviously, Big Daddy is one of them, and you've only got about 6 or 8 announced currently?
8 total character announced. 7 I guess you'd call Sony characters, and 1 third-party character.
Okay, so the possibility is there for third-party characters, but I see that we're not going to get Buzz as a playable character.
Buzz is not a playable character, but he does interact with the characters. Holds a quiz show in the middle of the Dreamscape level, and players are rewarded or punished for successfully or unsuccessfully answering the question right.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, that's right.
Which creature has not appeared in God of War?
So you'll see the answers all float to different parts of the level, and depending on where you're standing, that's basically you making your choice as to the correct answer. Of course, if multiple people know or think they know the right answer, you'll sort of be fighting over that space.
Because only one person's going to be able to get the correct answer, or if they're just standing, like, if they agree, all right, dude, let's both go mermaid, we can both get a boost.
That's right, yeah.
That going to work out?
As long as as many people are standing on that spot, you can all be right, potentially.
But it behooves you to push the other dudes out of the way.
Exactly.
All right. Pashmina626 from GameSpot wants to know about story mode, if there is one. And I think you guys have mentioned cross-platform play with the Vita and cross-saves.
Yes, that's right. So we do have what we're calling a traditional arcade story mode progression, so you'll find out why all of these characters are together, what the heck they're doing in this world, and what their sort of individual motivations are.
I imagine you guys had to get a little creative to put that one together.
Yeah, we think we haven't officially announced why the heck they're all together and fighting, but we think once players see it, they'll definitely get a kick out of it.
Okay, so we got the sort of standard arcade mode, story mode.
Yeah, that's right. And as you mentioned, you can cross over between the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita seamlessly. So you can start a progression on one and carry it over to the other. If you're out all day long on your Vita working towards your progression, then when you go back home, you can transfer that save back over to the PS3.
Cool. We have a question from Joe Grow wondering about the score indicator. Like, so, you know, there's not a whole lot going on screen. You sort of, each character has their little AP meter. You got the time. You have the mysterious thermometer bar, which I'm going to ask you about in a second. But, you know, are you just sort of left to tally for yourself how well you think you're doing?
Yeah, we actually feel that hiding the score does a little bit to enhance gameplay, since you really don't know who's in the lead or maybe how far in the lead that person is, or who's, you know, in last place or how far behind they are. We feel like it encourages everyone to try as hard as they can throughout the entire course of the match to get as many kills as they can.
You're not just going to see, you're not going to be Nate Drake at -3 seeing Big Daddy with 16 and be like, all right, whatever.
Exactly. Oh, this is over. I'm just going to hang out in the corner and pout. Or the opposite. You see a guy way out in front, he's like, I'm just going to protect my lead and just sort of hang out in the corner.
More defensively.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
That's getting back to the offensive focus you're mentioning with the AP mechanic and really trying to drive people to take the fight to each other.
Yeah, inherently we just think that frenetic action always being on is just really fun. So we just want to encourage that as much as possible.
Now here's an interesting one from Captain N from Denmark, wondering about supers versus supers. Like, what happens if two characters are going at it with level 2 supers?
Yeah.
How do you sort of determine priority, and what happens when they clash?
Well, our level 1 and our level 2 supers can happen simultaneously throughout the course of a match. If you do notice, level 3 supers are exclusive, so only one person can be in a level 3 super state at a time.
Okay.
But if a level 2 meets another level 2, we treat it just like any other attack. If a level 2 meets a level 1, it's the same deal. So that's actually a very common strategy you'll see when someone activates a super. You'll see a super get activated immediately after that to try to counter that super.
Okay. All right, where are we? Whose stage are we on now?
This is Sandover Village. This is a level inspired by the Jak and Daxter level, Sandover Village. It features a mashup from Hot Shots Golf. So through the portal, you'll see some Hot Shots golfers intrude, and whenever they find a green, they love teeing off. So you'll see them firing some shots into the play space.
Yeah, if you see 4 appear on screen, you got golf balls coming in.
Yep, you see the swing meter at the bottom, and you can tell if it's going to go right or if it's going to go left.
Nice. Now, in the chat, we've got a bunch of speculation about other characters to possibly bring in. Got some beautiful Joe people are hoping for. I mean, we've Jak and Daxter, of course, iconic.
Sure.
Characters, maybe, and but you guys are sticking solid at 8 right now. How many more characters do you have left to reveal?
Many more.
Many.
Yeah, we're not talking specifics, numbers or additional. We've got the 8 characters that we've announced so far. We're really happy, but we'll be announcing characters from now up until release. Stay tuned. Of course, first party and third party.
Okay. And because of the cross-play, the PlayStation 3 version and the Vita version, same roster of characters?
Not talking specifics there yet either.
Oh, all right. Might be some platform differences in store. Okay. And so who we've got fighting now? We got Big Daddy and Nate Drake, of course, but seeing Sweet Tooth and Fat Princess.
That's right. Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, one of the first times that character's been outside of the truck. And Fat Princess is one of the first times you've ever actually been able to control Fat Princess.
Yeah, normally you just kind of carry her around.
Yeah, exactly. And we've represented that element. The villagers from Fat Princess are an important part of her moveset, but we thought it would be fun to actually directly control Fat Princess, so we made sure to do that as well.
So if she uncorks a super, we might see some little woodsmen or archers coming out to help her out?
Oh, yeah. Actually, they're part of her normal moveset, and then, of course, her level 2 super and her level 3 super make heavy use of the villagers. Okay.
Yeah, so So her supers use the villager. Give us an idea of some of the other supers we might see on screen. What is, for example, Sweet Tooth? What's one of his?
Sure. So his level 2 super, if you play the new Twisted Metal, you know that guided missile plays an important part in the win objectives in Twisted Metal. So his level 2 super actually has him pull out a guided missile that he can sort of steer around the level and try to kill people with.
Nice.
And then, of course, his level 3 super is Mecha Tooth, also from the new Twisted Metal. So he completely transforms, anime style into this giant robot and goes on a storm trying to get as many kills as he can.
Oh, Sweet Tooth. He's probably like the craziest competitor. I mean, literally insane.
Yeah, he's a great character because we really got to create an all-new playstyle based on his personality. And that's what we really try to do with all the characters, is capture the essence of their personality in their moveset. A character like Sweet Tooth almost completely started from scratch in terms of what he could do on his buttons because he's almost always inside of a truck.
That's true. He's not a guy who likes to get out and about too much. He prefers to stay inside of his demented ice cream mobile killing machine.
Yeah, that's right. So this is kind of his debut.
Tellurian over Twitter is wondering about Resistance, and of course that's a iconic Sony franchise. Do we have any I noticed that a bunch of the environments you've announced sort of have other games roped into them and involved. Is Resistance in one of them you've announced yet?
Not in one of the ones that we've announced yet, but there is actually an item in the build that is from Resistance, the Hedgehog Grenade. Will frequently spawn, and it actually kind of works very similar to their game, like a proximity mine almost, and when characters go near it, it explodes. And actually, if you get hit by the Hedgehog Grenade, it temporarily removes your ability to perform supers. Ooh. So it's actually a really powerful weapon.
So items.
Yep.
Those come into play as well. How do they factor in?
Yeah. So the items will periodically spawn on the levels, and just like the characters in the levels, they come from all over the PlayStation universe, and all characters can interact with them, and they have different properties. So some characters will gravitate towards some weapons or items, and some characters will gravitate towards others.
What do you mean, like because it fits their play style?
Yeah, and, or the needs of the time. So we have supers, for instance, that remove energy. If I hit you with a rocket launcher or a Spear of Destiny, the AP that you've accumulated over the course of the match can actually spill out of you, which is really valuable at later stages of the game where characters are carrying around a lot of energy.
And so, but it doesn't just take a special item to drain AP. You can steal AP points from
right. Certain characters like Sly Cooper have that ability, but also all characters on their throws can eject AP at any time from a character.
Oh, okay. All right, so throws, and you sort of have some basic attacks. Can you give us an idea of what the sort of button layout is. I mean, with brawler games like this, it's common for them to be fairly simple from an input perspective. Are you guys going with that sort of mentality?
So we've got 3 attack buttons, square, triangle, and circle, and you just press them in combination with up, down, left, or right, and you'll get various attacks. Each character has about 2 dozen attacks, but they're really simple to get to, just natural button presses and directions. Our throws are done on the right analog, so if you flick the stick towards up or down, you'll get a different throw. We have block on L1, and our R2 is our super button. It's really simple. Pick up item is R1. It's very straightforward. We really wanted the controls to be very accessible. You're going to come to this game, and maybe you've never even played a brawler before. You just really like Parappa the Rapper or Sly Cooper. And so we wanted the controls to be very accessible from the start.
All right. Now, of course, because you got 4 players playing, we have a question coming in from I'm an Awkward Turtle. Questionable claim. I don't know if it's actual turtle. Will it be sort of combo moves or team moves when you... Well, first, I guess, can you have like tag team matches, 2-on-2?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually one of our favorite match types within the office. A whole new sort of play style emerges from team play because we have characters who are better suited towards a certain specific skill, like Colonel Raddick, we've demonstrated, has really great long-range attacks with his sniper rifle.
I bet that dude would be pretty projectile-heavy.
Yeah, extremely projectile-heavy. He has a whole assortment of weapons. And sort of pairing that long-range style with maybe someone who can protect him while he's, attacking from afar will create a really interesting play type. So there's all sorts of strategy that comes out of, like, team play, 2v2 play.
So that strategy is... But there's no like team combo moves like Radek, teams up with Big Daddy to perform a double super mega attack.
Nothing that we've predetermined. It's really out there for the players to sort of discover.
Sort of combine your strategies together.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Now, where'd the Hydra go? Okay, so this is another sort of God of War inspired stage, but
this is the Metropolis. This is what we demoed at the press conference. This actually. The level progresses over time, so the Hydra will come in and will come out based on different circumstances. The levels don't always play out in the exact same way every time you play them.
Oh, okay. So that element is not, you don't know that like at 20 seconds the Hydra head is going to chomp here, so I want to maneuver my opponent.
We have some levels that play out pretty consistently, and then others that are kind of dynamic. The Dreamscape level is a good example from Little Big Planet. The Poppet actually creates the level while it's being played, and every single time you play, it's a different layout.
I saw that. And like the tree was built up, but it changes every time it changes.
Yeah, it's
different playthroughs.
It has tools that it can use to build a level, just like from Little Big Planet, and the game sort of decides on its own what level it's going to build every time you play.
And in terms of interaction with the background, Spike93 wants to know, it's pretty much, can you interact with the background is the question, but it seems to be the background interacts with you.
Yeah, that's the best way of looking at it. All of our levels have that element of interaction where the levels sort of reach out and say, hey, pay attention to me for a while. And of course, that's an option. I know there's a lot of players who like to deactivate items or deactivate level interactions, and we do allow you to do that in our game. So if you feel like, I'm just really sick of that Hydra biting me all the time, you can actually turn that off in the options.
Oh, okay, so you can sort of tailor it a little bit to what kind of experience you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, we got a user in the chat, Decoy Octopus, confused about the combination of the Hydra and the Ratchet and Clank elements. Again, reiterate, sort of the maps are created as hybrids of different franchises and different elements from different games.
Yeah, that's right. We think of PlayStation All-Stars as a mashup type of game. We're taking Parappa the Rapper and Kratos and we're putting them in the same world together, and we're asking the players to be okay with that. And so we sort of apply that thinking all over. So our levels are always 2-in-1s. We combine elements of one IP with another, and we sort of try to find interesting juxtapositions between those two. I think the Hades Catapon level is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Maybe two IP that players don't always think go well together, but we think actually we're really successful in bringing them together.
Yeah, maybe not. You might not expect to put them next to each other, but you can create something pretty fun when you do.
Yeah, I think something really interesting comes out of the juxtaposition sometimes between IP.
All right, Omar. Well, the creativity you guys are bringing to the different IPs and combining them and bringing the characters in the map has sparked just an avalanche of people desperate to know when, what characters are going to be in there? What are you guys going to be announcing? When can they look forward to more about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale?
We're going to try to do character and level and new and interesting feature announcements as much as possible. I can't give you an exact timeline on when those announcements are going to come out, but we come out this holiday, so we're going to try to have an announce as often as people are interested in tuning in.
All right.
So definitely just stay tuned for that.
So this holiday on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Omar, thank you so much for starting off the show today with some good old-fashioned brawling. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, we are off to take a tour of the Indie Arcade booth with Carlos Rodela, and then it's back for Racketeer and a whole lot of smashing things.